So we are going to be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. In the last episode, we saw more draining of the Mediterranean Sea, as well as the Aztecs go on a major conquest with their new government being in a military dictatorship. But it turns out, and I'll explain this more in this video, it's not necessarily only a military dictatorship. But anyways, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. And before we get into this, skip to this time in the video if you don't want to hear this, but I'm going to be talking about the future of this Wixo because I need to talk about it badly. Okay, as you know, I normally upload Wixos on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Fridays, I'd say. Sometimes Mondays as well. That's around 3 to 4 Wixos a week. And this is my first one for this week, and you might be wondering, why am I slowing down on this? I'm going to be completely honest, I do not really feel like recording this anymore. It's just, I've kind of ran out of stuff to do. Like right now, I'm draining the Mediterranean, which is a really cool storyline in my opinion. But eventually, once this is done, I don't want to just make a new country come back up that has, like, the strongest country in the world. I don't want to do that again. So, most likely, what's going to happen is, this Wixo might end soon. And I'm going to maybe end it at episode 100. We'll see. I'm going to try and go till then, but just, I don't know if I could do it for that long. If I do, it's going to be very few episodes because I want to focus more on animation. And this next animation I have coming up, it is going to be a big one. It's of Ada's Pro's series. And I am really excited to record it. But I just want to say that. And I do have a season 2 planned. Go check out Hunter Mapping Interview. There may be something about it in the video. I don't remember. But just know I do plan on ending this soon. And that is not because it is not getting the support it needs. I just don't want to drag something out when I don't want to record it. And there will be a season 2. I just feel like I don't want to do Wixo for the rest of my YouTube career. And I want to do, like, new stuff in the future, like actual historical stuff. So, although the next animation I'm doing is not a actual world history, it's something, it could be coming up. Anyways, enough yapping, let's get into this episode. Anyways, we are going to be starting off over here with our, I guess, daily Mediterranean draining. The project Atlantropa is going really good, and in fact, the Adriatic is suffering. Do note that there is a pretty big time gap from this episode from the last one. Say probably about 10 years. And these guys have been freaking draining this thing crazy. And now, the Red Italians look like this. The Adriatic isn't even really Adriatic, it's more just the Mediterranean. So the Red Italians gain a lot of land. And you can barely even recognize that they're Italy at this point. But that's not all the land that's being drained. In fact, all of this land gets drained. And now, the Red Italians have connection up to Sardinia, as well as more connection up to, I guess, Sicily. The Red Italians are big, but so are the Iberians, who also gain a lot of land because of this treaty. And we actually see the official signing of a new alliance being formed. Like I said, not the same Triangle Alliance. But we see these two officially making their, I guess, pact official with the signing of the New Land for People Alliance. And this new WIMP alliance is going to be furious about this. Not only have just some of the strongest countries in the world just signed a alliance to go against what you're saying, stop draining the Mediterranean, but yeah, like I said, they're strong. And they're going to keep draining the Mediterranean. But like I said, some of these countries need the water. So we see more countries joining up with the Diamond Alliance. Bulgaria joins up because they don't like the Red Italians. They respect each other, but they don't like them. And they need the Mediterranean. Adaria joins it. They need the water. And although if this does get drained, they'll have this. A lot of their populated areas are along this coastline, and they do not want that. Even though they did allow the Iberians to build over to Africa, they kind of had to, otherwise they'd be destroyed. But we do have another country joining up with the Triangle Alliance. And that is, I guess, just the Lime team. Even though they hate the Iberians, they join up because, I don't know, they just do. And still speaking of this whole controversial stuff over here, we need to talk about Cyprus. Cyprus has been divided into 3 different countries, this being Egypt's little area, Bulgaria's, and the Red Italians. With Bulgaria officially joining the WIMP alliance, we see, the Bulgarians and the Egyptians uniting their Cypriot colony. And the official state of northern Cyprus has been set up. These guys actually don't have a major city, so I'm just going to smack one right there. And their capital city goes there. And now the Red Italians are kind of in a little bit of a pickle. See, they don't want to release their Cypriot colony and just make it Cyprus. After that whole thing over here and how they dropped emplacements, they don't want to do that again. But the people of this colony right here are done with the Red Italians. But the Red Italians just want to keep control over them. So what we see happening is the Red Italians releasing the Republic of Cyprus, or just Cyprus, or Southern Cyprus, and their capital. It's going to go in the old capital area. And these two do know this is not the Cypriot Empire. That thing is officially gone, never coming back. These two hate each other because the Egyptians and the Bulgarians spread their beliefs among the people about how this Cypriot area and the Red Italians and the whole Triangle Pact is bad. Influence. And the Red Italians, they don't really care. They just did that because, as long as it doesn't come back as the actual Cypriot Empire, they do not care. So, to assert control, the Egyptians give the Northern Cypriot Republic, Republic probably, permission to go ahead and take Cyprus. And instead of a peace treaty, Cyprus is united, but they're going to keep the capital city there. But there's a problem. Red Italians were killed inside of this, as well as Iberians, and maybe a few Greeks. Why? I don't know. But the Red Italians are pissed about this, and you want to know what they go ahead and do? They go ahead and go bomb a few areas inside of this area of Egypt. Where have I seen this before? India. What are you doing right now? Ceasefire. I know. Still scary. Egypt gonna respond by bombing areas inside of the Red Italian. The Iberians gonna respond. Bomb, 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 bomb. And it turns out some of these guys have been producing nukes. The Red Italians and the Iberians aren't, but it's mainly the Egyptians and the Turks who are. Why? I don't know. Of course, these bombs aren't fully built yet, thankfully. But they do warn these two with it, and these guys don't go to war. Scary, I know. But there is some shooting going on this border, but no wars. Man, I swear I've heard this somewhere before. And the Red Italians are now saying these guys could strike at any minute. Scary propaganda. Anyways, moving away from all this, let's go ahead and go over to the Aztecs. And the Aztecs, although they do have this nice empire, their economy is a little struggle. And so what they're going to do? They build a bunch of Costcos. And, now their economy is better. And after their economy is fixed a little bit, they look around and see if there's any kind of threats to their empire. There really isn't, but there is one that used to have a pretty big empire. That's Venezuela. And you never know. I mean, they could really just rise up again. So what happens? We see the troops going in. And the Aztecs, like I said, military dictatorship kind of. And they are just absolutely destroying the Venezuelans. Some of them are going to flee to the United States, but most of them, at least in the military, are getting killed. And I guess this isn't the United States. They're just going to flee to, like, this country and Florida and Virginia, right? Maybe some, like, what country is this? No, Michigan. Maybe even, like, Utah, California, just all over this area. Maybe even over to, like, actually, probably wouldn't go over here. But we see the Aztecs focusing in on the coastline areas, and they actually take all of the coastline away from Venezuela, and it is right here where we see rebellious groups. By rebellious groups, I mean Guyana, invading into them and absolutely destroying them with the help of Japan and more other Renaissance countries that are here. These guys really haven't moved since they took over this country, which still is pretty much in control by these two. Yeah, these two. Guyana is pretty dang strong for a South American country. And, like, I guess South American countries aren't really noted to be super strong, except for these guys inside of, like, World War III. In, like, one of those wars, and they wiped out, like, all South American colonies. They're goated. And we actually have a fascist Peruvian country on the border. Yeah, I don't know why these guys are fascist. They just choose to be. But, you know, it's free land, so why not send the troops in? Colombia goes in to try and save the citizens of Venezuela. They take the capital city, and they just start taking as much land. Venezuela and Colombia, unlike in real life, they actually had really good relations. And we see a lot of this land falling over to Colombia, while still seeing the Aztecs invading into this South American land, as well as Guyana invading into this area. They just, yeah, Guyana's goated. We even see some gunfire between Peru and Guyana, but the Aztecs are still sweeping over this land, and they take pretty much all of it. And now we need to look at the treaty of Florida. Yep, I don't know where the city is, so yeah. And here's what this whole area is going to be split as. First, the Aztecs take all of this. They didn't really want much. I don't know why they didn't just take this in like an ultimatum, because Venezuela would have accepted that, but they just didn't do that. Peru actually takes a lot, and this is kind of because there may be something going on between Peru and the Aztecs. Hint, hint. Guyana takes all of this. They also take... Actually, no, they don't take Puerto Rico. This is lore. And, well, the rest is going to go over to Colombia because no one else really wanted it. And something that's happened inside of South America. Yay. But now I need to talk about freaking Puerto Rico. The Puerto Ricans become a country. Not a state, I know, but at least you're a country. But anyways, this is where I'm going to end the video. I don't know how long it is, but this is where it's going to end. Like I said at the start, yeah, just go back and watch it. I don't really want to say it again. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next episode, and, well, adios amigos, hasta mañana iguanas, goodbye. And a special thanks to our members, Laser Taze, Super Norby, Eddie, Gail Martinez, Green Team Mapping, PJ Likes Cheeto, King Cheese, and Dark Mapping. Thank you guys.